Let's begin. Today is August 8th, 2024, and we're solving the Daily Turing Machine Puzzle. Today's puzzle uses the following 5 criteria cards. Criteria card 3, 8, 16, 19, and 20. And the puzzle uses the green verification cards. The code above is your way to get more information on today's puzzle by searching the code on turingmachine.info. Let's go solve. So in the grid above, we've got our 5 criteria cards. On the top row, we've got criteria card A, criteria card B, and criteria card C. On the bottom row, we've got criteria card D and criteria card E. So criteria card A looks at our middle digit, the square digit, and we'll be comparing it to the number 3. So should the value of square be less than 3? Should it be equal to 3? Or should it be greater than 3? Criteria card B looks at the 3-digit solution, and the Turing machine will let us know how many of those digits are 1. Are there no ones? Is there a single one? Perhaps 2? Maybe all 3 should be 1. Criteria card C will again look at the 3-digit solution, but this time it'll let us know a little bit about the ratio of even to odds. So should there be more even than odds, or should there be less even than odds? Criteria card D will look at our first 2 digits, triangle and square, and this time they'll be added and the sum will be compared to the number 6. So should the sum be less than 6? Should the sum be equal to 6? Or should the sum be greater than 6? And finally, criteria card E again looks at our 3-digit solution, but will let us know a little bit about the structure of the 3 digits. Specifically, are there no repetitions, meaning that they're all unique, as in the example 125? Or maybe there could be a double number, a repeating digit, as in the example 112, or it could be a triple number, where it's a single digit repeated 3 times, as in the example 222. Now remember, the objective of today's puzzle is to find that unique 3-digit code that abides by all 5 criteria cards that we just described. And we're going to start off with an initial proposal of 314. So the first thing I want to test is I want to know a little bit about the ratio of even to odd digits. So let's go test criteria card C. Okay, so the Turing machine approves of my proposal. Notice that I do have 2 odds to a single even. So that means that there are less even than odds. So let's go ahead and type that up in section C. Okay, so since we do have less even than odds, there are 2 possibilities. One similar to the proposal I have, 2 odds to a single even, or it could be that they're all odd. So the next thing I'd like to test is criteria card E. Okay, so in this case, the Turing machine does not approve of my proposal. Notice that I do have all unique digits. So obviously no repetition is not what the Turing machine is indicating. So it's either a double number or a triple number. So let's go ahead and type that up in section E. So the solution has a double or triple number. Okay, and the likelihood that it's a triple, well, let's see. Yeah, we still haven't established if they're all odd. Obviously, if we do have an even, that would mean that there's no way it could be a triple number. And that's all I can really see at this point. Obviously, if square is not a 1, well, no, that wouldn't necessarily disqualify it, but yeah. So far, it's not likely, but it's not impossible. Okay, so what are we going to test next? Let's go ahead and test criteria card D. Okay, so in this case, it does approve of my proposal. Notice that we are adding up the first 2 digits, so 3 plus 1 is 4, and 4 is less than 6. So it's true The Turing machine is indicating that it's true that the first two digits do add up to less than 6. So let's go ahead and put that in our notes in section D. That triangle plus square should be less than 6. Okay, and since the sum has to be less than 6, I believe neither triangle nor square can be 5. Because if you add 5 to a minimum of 1, then that's already 6 or greater. So yeah, so neither triangle nor square can be 5. And that still doesn't really tell us much about how many odds there are, or it still can be a triple number, just not a 5, I suppose. Well, that does it for this round. We have completed our first 3 Turing tests. Now we're going into the phase where we'll be discussing how to construct a good second round proposal. So notice that we did not test criteria cards A or B. So since the sum is less than 6, yeah, there's some likelihood that there could be at least a single 1. For criteria card A, finding out the value of square, even though there's no 5, potentially 4 could still work. So it could be that square could still be greater than 3 and still fulfill criteria card's D requirement that the overall sum has to be less than 6. The other thing to notice about the criteria cards for today's puzzle is that there's no explicit mention of circle. So somehow circle has to be forced into a specific value. And that could be due to maybe the fact that it could be a double, or maybe it's the lone even. It's just hard to say at this point, but those are the sort of questions that you want to ask in order to, again, think through and get a good second round proposal. Let's see. So obviously for triple numbers, the only possibilities could be 111 or 222, because 33 already adds up to 6. So it's only 11 and 22 that would give us a sum less than 6. And but I wouldn't anticipate that 3 ones would be, the solution, because if that were true, then obviously you would know that square had to be less than 3. The sum of the first 2 digits is less than 6. Et cetera, et cetera. That there would be a triple number. So maybe that could be the argument that, well, at least that there are no 3 ones, because if there's 3 ones, then it'd be a triple number, but not necessarily in reverse. You wouldn't have, if you knew it was a triple number, you wouldn't necessarily know it was all 1s. They could be all 2s. So I think for that fact, we know that there aren't 3 ones, but there could be 2, there could be a single, or none at all. Let's see. But again, it almost comes down to the first 2 to figure out what that solution might be. I always like to also work in the extremes. So something like maybe, square is 4, and that would force triangle to be a 1. So if it were something like a 1, 4, what, and if we have a double, oh, there you go. It could be something like 1, 4, 1. assuring us that we do have two odds. And yeah, it could be a 4. We could have an even. That does look quite promising. Obviously, there'd be 2 ones for this card, but it wouldn't be the first 2, because then how would you pick circle? So if there were 2 ones, it would be 1, 4, 1. Are there any other candidates? Yeah, I don't think it's going to be 3 ones. Could it be 3 2s? I guess 3 2s is a possibility. Oh no, it can't be 3 2s because you have to have a majority of odds. Ah, okay. So I'm pretty sure it's not a triple number. So it's going to be a double, and it's got to be 2 odds. And so you can't have, and yeah, I don't think you can have 2 odds for triangle and square. It can't be 3 3. If it's 1 1, as I mentioned, there's no way that we could pick circle among the remaining. There are just too many possibilities. So yeah, I think 1 4 1 sounds like a winner. Now the question is, can we just do criteria card B and deduce it? If we do get 2 1s, again, I don't think it could be 1 1 for triangle and square, because it would be impossible to figure out what circle would be. There's no way to distinguish them. Could it be 1 1 for square and circle? I think there would be too many options for that as well, because it could be a 2, it could be a 3, and it could be a 4. So yeah, I think if we just test criteria card B, we'll be able to deduce that it's a square. Well, let's see. Yeah. Yeah, because I think we could almost argue that there'd be too many possibilities of, say, 1 2 1 or 1 3 1. Those all work, and the only way to distinguish it would be with a 4. So yeah, let me go ahead and test criteria card B. No, there are not 2 1s. Oh, wow. Okay, that really surprised me. Okay. So let's, how do I want to write this up? Well, now I am, could there be 3? I don't think there could be 3 1s. That's just not likely, because again, that would mean that you would know it's a triple number. And there's not 2 1s. There's not, oh, okay, so there's either a single 1 or no 1s. Very interesting. Okay, so I think that's how I'm going to write it up. There are either no 1s or a single 1. Okay. Again, I'm stating that I don't believe that there could be 3 1s. Let's hope that that's accurate. Okay, so that still means I can't cross out anything. Okay, so now I'm very curious. Oh, you know what? Well, no, there can't be 2 1s. I was going to say maybe it's 1 3 1. Okay, well, oh wow. Now I'm really kind of torn, because more than likely, well, it can't be 4. Is that right? Yeah, there are no repetitions. That was wrong. There has to be a double or a triple. And it can't be all 2s, and it can't be all 3s. Yeah, so I've already said, yeah, there can be a triple. There has to be a double. So maybe it's 313. That's the only thing I can think of. So I'm thinking that, let's see, because here's where the dilemma is. I can only test criteria card A one time this round, and I'm almost positive that it's not going to be, it can't be 4, because if it's 4, that would force triangle to be the 1 and circle to be a 1, and that's what I have, and that's already wrong. So I think it's safe to say it's not a 4 for square. Okay. And if it's not a double 1, it must mean that it's a triple 3, and so it'd be something like, well, okay, so maybe, well, if square is 3, that means that, oh man, I don't know if square is 3, it can't be 3, 3, because that sum is greater than 6. That would mean that circle will have to be 3, but what would triangle be? It could be 1 or 2. So I'm thinking it's going to be a single 1. Well, if it's a single 1, how do you force triangle to be something? Well, if square is 3, if square is 3, I don't think it could be 3, 3 for square and circle, because you could have a 1 or a 2. If you have a single 1, if square is less than, and you need a double, it's not a double 1. Yeah, the only thing I can think of it be 313. I don't know if I can I list out all the possibilities? Well, it has to be a a double 3, because it's not a double 1. And it can't be the first 2. Circle has to be a 3. And I'm thinking that it's got to be square that's also 3. But no. I'm really torn. So we know there's not a double 1. It's got to be a double 3. Which one would it be? Can't be 3, 3. If this is less than, well, it could be 2 or 1 to add it to 3. If it's a 1, it can't be a 1, I guess, and it can't be a 2, because then you'd be forced to pick a 1. It could be a 3. It can't be 4, because again you'd be forced to pick 2 1s. So it has to be 3, 1, 3. But if it's less than 3, why can't it be 323? Oh, perhaps there's a single one. That's probably what it is. Okay, so I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say that the solution is 313, sort of just based on, even though I didn't list out everything, 313. Let's go verify. And that was incorrect. Okay. Well, let's test A. Yeah, so it's not a 4. So it's a 3. Oh. If it's a 3, I guess it could be 133. But so could 2. Oh, but you'd have to have a 1. So yeah. So then it'd be a 133. Oops. Well, that's not what I want. Let's do this. One, 3, 3. Why not 3? Yeah, it's not 3, 3, 1. And we already did 3, 1, 3. So the only other possibility that it would be is 1, 3, 3. Yeah. Yeah, because there is a 1. That's what I'm going to deduce, that there is a 1. All right. So let's try 1, 3, 3. Also wrong. Oh my. Okay. Okay. So there is no 1. Comedy of errors. If there is no 1, then there would have to be a 2. And it can't be 3, 3. So 3, 2, 3 or 2, 3, 3. So yeah, so at this point, yeah, now I do have to do another round because it's either 2, 3, 3 or 3, 2, 3. Yeah, I got to do one more round. And so the last remaining possibilities are 2, 3, 3 or 3, 2, 2, or sorry, 3, 2, 3, because 3, 3, 2 is not going to work. So we have to test criteria card A. What's the most likely case? That squares 3. Yeah, I think the case where squares 3. Yeah. So let's do a new round. And we're going to say 2, 3, 3. And test criteria card A. Okay, so that is correct. So we definitely know that for criteria card A, that square is equal to 3. squared is equal to 3. All right. And so let's cross out everything but 3. And so we know a triangle can't be 3, so that means circle has to be a 3. So let's cross out everything. Oh, I got to do that. Well, I hope I don't run out of space. Let's do this. Okay, so it's not going to be 1, 3, 3 either. And since I've already lost, let's make sure, let's see, that there are no 1s. So let's go ahead and test criteria card B again. And yes, there are no 1s. So let's go ahead and cross out the 1s in triangle. Okay, so triangle. So basically, what can I add to 3 to make sure it's less than 6? Only a 2. Yeah, so yeah, triangle can't be 3 or greater. Okay, so not 1, 3, 3. There were no 1s at all. Oh, well, let me actually put in the, well, let's see, I think I can do it this way now. And so we're saying 2, 3, 3. Well, there's a first for everything. Missing it twice. Okay, so let's verify. So yeah, the middle digit is 3. There are no 1s or a single 1. I should have reread that note. And so yeah, I guess we're saying yeah, there are no 1s. So let's cross this out. Well, oops. Conjugation doesn't make sense. There are a single 1, I guess. Let me just get rid of the or. There are a single 1. Doesn't make sense, but that's good enough. More odds than evens, that's true. A sum is less than 6. We'll deduce that there is a double number, and obviously it's none of these, so let me go ahead and cross these out. Okay, so, oh, what am I saying? It is 2, 3, 3. It's only, I was thinking that had some 1s in it. Okay, I'm almost scared to test, but let's do it. 2, 3, 3. Okay, well, I obviously lost since I got it wrong 2 times, but let's go ahead and see how did the Turing machine do it. And yeah, we'll test all of this. So CDE in the first round. So CD were both correct. E was incorrect. Second round, both A and B were incorrect, and did a third round, and finally we got 2 check marks. Oh wow, very interesting. Now I don't know if they used all their turns in each round. Obviously I did not, so I elected to skip to another round after getting both of those wrong. And again, I guess I technically could have done it in one question in round 3, but just for thoroughness, and since I had already lost, wanted to make sure. Well, this was an extremely interesting puzzle, very challenging, and I did not do well. But that's just what happens sometimes. But any thoughts? How did you do? Was it as challenging for you? Add those to the comments. If you still like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you don't want to miss out on any future videos, make sure to hit subscribe to be notified. Well, until next time, have a great one.